I'm gonna assume that this microphone is now connected, but I'm going to leave this microphone. I'm gonna put the microphone like right here, actually. I just watched the Black Panther movie again. Black Panther is a cool movie. I really like the soundtrack. I should actually do one of these again. Um, this is not a video just talking about Black Panther and whatnot. What I will also do is this. It's gonna be choppy. Unfortunately, you know what? Now let's see what we can do. Get some more light over there. Get some more light over here. Actually, gonna close this. Throw you over here, as a matter of fact. If I can't hit one of these without it being too bright, that's cool. And I want to open this one more time. And then because it's nighttime, throw this on. So this isn't just gonna be me talking about, this isn't just gonna be me talking to the camera. I'm also gonna get into Blender and then create this shoe model and whatnot. Fear is such a Fear can be such a touchy subject, I think, because fear can take place in everybody. We all fear different things. Scared of different things. I'm not really scared of death. I'm not really fearing of death. And, I think that, no, well, obviously, not fearing death and not being scared of it presents itself in so many different ways in life, like in these different situations that I've been in. Never really had a fear that I would die. I guess because it's also, it's two things with that. It's not really a fear of death, but then knowing that I'm not gonna die. Like not fearing what's after death, and then not fearing the process. Like I remember I was super curious back in like 8th grade and middle and like earlier, super curious about like actually what happened after death and what life after death was like. Because I don't believe we die. I don't believe we die and then that's over with. It just doesn't even seem feasible. It doesn't even seem possible to me. Like I can't see how consciousness would just cease to exist, especially individual consciousness. What does that look like? I don't know. I mean, I've had a few different renditions and a few different visions of what that would look like, but I don't see how your awareness of your awareness of your surroundings or your awareness of your self. You might not be able to speak verbally. It might be all mental. It might be all telepathic, or it might be something that we've never even experienced before. But like, I guess that's another thing that I don't think about it right now. It's there's so many things that we haven't experienced even in this life that we don't even know exist right now. There's so many things that I don't even know exist. Like, I'm sure there's certain types of animals I don't even know exist. I could conjure up. I'm sure I could conjure up some wacky stuff. I'm sure I can conjure up some wacky stuff. I just tried to do so right then and there. But like it started off with like a rhino, was just taking the horn of a rhino, extending that out, putting gills on it, and that's probably some type of fish out there, you know. But regardless, I've never seen it though. It's just up here, and there's probably so many things we just haven't seen, and so I don't know how we can say, or how even I'm not even gonna say we. I don't even know how I can say what I think happens after death, knowing the fact that there's just stuff that I have not thought about, and that has not been brought to me, that I have not experienced, to really even have an inkling of a grasp as to what happens. And if I want to elaborate on that point again, the fact that there's stuff in this world, in this land of living, that I don't even know about in my 21x years of life so far, I don't know how I could know for sure what's after death, something I have no experience with. Now, I remember I was talking to my father some years ago, maybe about 2 years ago. He was telling me about these, it was like a group of people, they would literally kill themselves. Oh, maybe I can't talk about this on YouTube. It's not getting monetized anyway. What am I talking about? Like, come on now, get out of that capitalist mind. But, not capitalist mind, but, you know, just money looping on repeat. But these people that would literally off themselves, experience death, experience whatever afterlife was, and then come back, revive themselves. You know, I can probably look up the name. You know, let's look up the name real quick. Shoot. You know, this needs a better transition, but I can probably, I don't know exactly how I can do it. Watch this. This is the transition. This is exactly how I'm gonna hit the transition. So boom, boom, boom. We got this. Dang, that didn't work. Shoot. All right. Bam. All right. So first thing we're gonna do then. Side note. I think you can see me. What were the group of people called who? If Perplexity would even have knowledge about this, I mean, it should, but you know, there's still, it pulls its knowledge from the internet, I believe, and if there's no real like, not a lot of traces about this, then it shouldn't, it might not pop up. Yeah, exactly. No widely recognized group or contemporary science society specifically known for intentionally killing themselves, experiencing afterlife, and reviving themselves. However, there are related phenomenon in groups that touch on this aspect of the idea. NDE survivors, many people who have attempted are suffering life-threatening events, reporting near-death experiences. Religious or cult groups such as Heaven's Gate has committed mass. That's insane. With this belief that it would transport their souls into to another existence or afterlife. I mean, probably would, you know. However, these acts are intended as a final transition, not as a temporary journey with the potential. Historical, okay. So for the most part, though, like, I mean, there's not a lot of sources about it. I'd have to do a little bit more research, and I'm not gonna do that right now on camera. But even for that group, right? Let's say Perplexity gave me a little bit of information about the group, and we could dive deeper into it. But even with that group, though, two things with that. One, they're not experiencing death. I think it wouldn't be true death because they're not dead. You know, they come back. It's like a trial period. That's not the game. Yes, that's partial. That's not the game, though. Is this laptop being... I don't know what's being picked up in the background of this microphone, but that's not the game. And then the second thing, we experience life from our own perspectives. We experience everything and gain our own individual understanding of it. No two people can have the same exact understanding. No two people can have the same perception of life and experience. And it's not to discredit anything, but you know when you know. You know, I know when I know. Old little, what is it called? Metaphor? Story? Analogy? Old little, thought experiment. I'm sitting here near downtown LA. I get a call from one of my friends. She's like, hey, they're like, hey, this forest, 13 trees just knocked down in this forest right here. Ooh, look at my back. I swear I got a shirt on though. 13 trees knocked down in this forest right now. It's like hell breaking loose. I'm like, dang, you good? You good? What's X, Y, Z? Pause. In my world, I haven't experienced these trees falling. I don't know if they're true or not. I'm just having to take her word for it. In her world, the trees may or may not have fallen. But me sitting here on the phone, I have no clue whether that's true or not. It's just based off of her word and her experience. Me trusting what her experience is. It could be false. She could be somewhere else. She could be high. She could be high right now, thinking she's in the redwoods, San Francisco. I don't know if they're in San Francisco. Thinking she's in the redwoods. She could be high, not knowing where she is, but thinking these trees are falling. Describing everything like a forest. It's like these trees fell, freaking birds flew off, deer are running through the woods, like animals are calling out to one another. It's like it's kind of crazy out here. Lo and behold, she's high. None of that's actually happening, even in her experience, even in her reality. But in mine, I'm like, dang. Now I'm texting people who I know in San Francisco, like, hey, y'all hear these redwoods? Y'all hear these trees and falling and stuff? It's like a whole bunch of commotion going on. But all in all, it was based off of her experience, something that I didn't experience myself. So I can't even know if it's true or not. I'm just going off of other people's word. And with this death revival group, we'd be going off of their word unless it was us who experienced it or me who experienced it. And now the question would be, well, how do you know something is true or not? This is what trust is for, and this is what faith and belief is for in the stories and in what we hear in our own experiences. And the crazy part is, which is bringing me back to what I initially started talking about, which was fear. And then I started talking about fear of death, but fear. One of my friends, she was just telling me, I have a lot of lady friends, man. Lady killer. I have one of my friends, she was just telling me about this story. She's on a trip right now. And she was just telling me about, before I was talking about that, fear is such an interesting topic because I had this door open and, the images that keep popping into my mind is that I'm going to come back to it, throw you a little, but I'm not going to reel you in yet. I'm going to throw in a bunch of hooks and I'm going to reel them on in at one point. My friend, she's on a trip right now. She was just telling me about this experience that she just had, which was seeing I'm going to call it I think it's a jinn in Muslim religion. Because now, the image that's playing in my mind is that like, things that happen in horror movies. It's like people, they have the screen pointing back to them. And then they look away for a second, but then boom, something pops up. And I'm like, nothing's gonna happen, thank the Lord. Inshallah, I believe that's a good way to say it. But yeah. Anyway, she was telling me about this, I'm gonna call it entity, I'm gonna call it being, spirit. I'm gonna just call it a spirit. What am I doing? She's telling me about, she just saw this spirit like salt, like two, like with one of these, both of these mugs. Saw. But this isn't the first time that she's seen this though. And I'm like, I am very intrigued by this because I'm wondering, what did it look like? What did his face look like? It didn't have a face, FYI. What did his face look like? What was it doing? What was the energy around it? I didn't ask that question yet, but I am curious, what was the energy around it? What was the energy around it? Because in my thoughts just now before I got on this camera and started talking was sleep paralysis. You know, when she told me about that story, when she told me about a few of these instances, and you know, these figures and these spirits didn't have a face, but they weren't really doing much. And then I hear stories about sleep paralysis spirits, and they're not really doing much. Sometimes they go sit on people's bodies. I'm wondering, I'm just so curious as to if these are all the same. If the spirits that she's referring to is the same spirits that people who claim to see when they have sleep paralysis. I've never seen anything, thankfully, while I've had sleep paralysis. But I'm just so curious. And the fear aspect comes into play for a couple reasons. Because one, I'm curious. When I ask these questions, I'm curious. But then, you know, I'm gonna say, God forbid. And I don't know a lot of sayings in Arabic, but the main things that I know is inshallah, like God willing, or if it's in God's will, or I believe that's like how you say it, or what the translation is. But in another alternate universe, if somebody whose name was similar to Clarence Keith came into contact with one of these spirits, I could imagine I would probably be a little scared. I could imagine I probably would be. But only because this is such a foreign experience and I don't know what is about to happen. I don't know what this is. Only because I don't know what it is. And the reason why I talked about death before is because I wouldn't die. I don't believe I would. But I would be curious. I'd want to ask so many questions. Maybe not even ask questions. Actually, I would. And you know, the thing is, another reason that brought me to this conversation with myself right now is the girl that I used to date maybe like a year or two ago. We actually had a similar conversation about sleep paralysis and the spirits that are sometimes present within sleep paralysis. I told her that I would want to talk to it, ask it some questions, find out what it is, why it's here, in this presence, in that room or in that space. Why is it sitting on somebody's chest? In her case, my friend's case, why is it sitting where it was? What is it looking at? Can they see us? And why can we see them? But why can't we see them on a regular basis? And I was framing these questions and saying that I would want to ask these questions, and I'm just have so many curiosities. But you know, I'm gonna just say I think, you know, this is one of the reasons why I think fear is such a touchy subject, because um, I think the idea of spirits. I mean, I said it myself. I think if I came into contact, you know, in another universe and timeline and whatnot, I think I would be scared a little bit too. But I don't ever think fear or being afraid of something should ever stop. I mean, it should never stop faith. It should never stop your belief. It should never stop any of that. If anything, your faith and belief should triumph any fear that anybody has. Kanye said he forgot what fear is. I mean, I don't know how that's really relevant right now, but you know, I'm gonna forget what fear is too. Same way I'm gonna forget my name. No, wait, no. I'm gonna forget how old I am, not my name. Maybe if I create a new name, then I'll forget my own. Um, but bringing it back to the fear, there's nothing wrong with not wanting to ask questions. But I think there is something wrong with letting fear take a hold of you. And you know, fear is such a thing where, man, fear is such a thing where fear is such a thing that can send, or at least I think can send people to desperation, to find something to get rid of the fear, and to trust that there is nothing to fear. But I think in knowing that I don't think there's any right answer, but I think in knowing that there's nothing to actually fear. I mean, stuff hurts, you know. I don't fear fighting people at all. I don't want to get hurt. Like getting punched hurt, getting punched in the nose hurts. It doesn't feel good. That's what I'd be avoiding. But I don't think I would like we heal our bodies. I'll be okay. It's not dying ever that I am concerned with. It's how much is this gonna hurt? And I think with the spirits or the yeah, I think with the spirits it'd be a question of what is about to happen. Is this gonna hurt? I don't even think it would hurt. I don't know, man. I'm thankful. I am blessed. I'm blessed to be me. I'm blessed to have my curiosity. I'm blessed to have my drive and tenacity. I'm blessed to have my grit. I'm blessed to have my can-do attitude. I'm blessed to have my optimism. I'm blessed to have my confidence. I'm blessed to have my awareness and intelligence. I'm blessed to have my good looks. I'm blessed for so many different reasons. I'm blessed to be in this building right now. I'm blessed to have the father that I do, the sisters that I have, and the mother that I do. I'm blessed to be who I am, where I am, though I'm not, you know, physically surrounded by my people. I always have them to call. I wonder if this will be the same video. I might, I guess I'll make them two separate videos, this video and then another one, but if I'm done with this one, then might get to uploading, and then I'm going to Dubai over the winter break. I'm very excited for it. Never been, you know. I'm very curious though. You know, the stuff that she would tell me, my friend who saw the spirit, it'd literally be stuff out of a scary movie, like to the T, which is crazy because then I'm like, man, did people experience this? And now I'm like, wow, bro, this is insanity. This is crazy stuff. It's crazy stuff to think that she saw this with her own eyes. It's crazy to think that. She saw it with her own eyes. You know, everything's wrapped around each other. Like what I said at the very beginning with the trees, and you have to trust people's experiences. But man, man, man. Because, you know, it gets to a point where it's like if everybody around you, I mean, everybody around me, not saying the same thing, but if everybody around you is saying they have the same experience, but you are the one lone factor that has not experienced it. Thankfully. What do you take that as? Do you trust their word still, though you have not experienced it yourself? Or do you sit on top of that hill alone? Burp. Do you sit on top of that hill alone and not believe it all? Not believe any of it? I mean, the whole reason why I'm getting on this video is probably because I believe what she said. If it's not clear, I believed it. Well, wow. I'm gonna cut my hair off at some point. Video's almost 30 minutes long. Alright, I'm done recording. At least this first video, this first version. Let's get prepared for the second video.